Life had that steady rhythm back in early spring, the kind you settle into when you're past the chaos of younger years and just grateful for a predictable routine. I was 56, living in a second-floor walk-up apartment in Chicago's Logan Square, the sort of place where the L train rumbles past every 12 minutes like clockwork, shaking the windows just enough to rattle your coffee cup. Rent was $1,720 a month, had crept up $80 the year before, and my paycheck from the insurance agency on Milwaukee Avenue, $42,000 after taxes, stretched thin to cover it, along with the car payment on my 10-year-old Honda Civic, groceries, and the odd vet bill for Whiskers, our 14-year-old Tabby who spent her days curled on the windowsill, watching pigeons strut on the fire escape. Mornings kicked off at 6:15 sharp. I'd fumble for the alarm on my nightstand, the digital clock glowing red in the dim bedroom, and pad out to the kitchen in my robe. The Mr. Coffee gurgled to life, filling the air with that rich Folgers smell that always made me feel like the day might hold together. I'd scramble eggs in the chipped Teflon pan while toast burned if I got distracted, the faint char lingering like a bad habit. Tom, my fiancé of 9 years, would shuffle in from the bedroom, his hair tousled from a restless night, grease stains still faint on his work shirt from the evening shift before. He pulled swing shifts as a mechanic at the Ford dealership on Elston Avenue, long hours bent over engines, overtime checks that kept us from dipping into the red every month. "Morning, beautiful," he'd murmur, his voice gravelly as he kissed my cheek, grabbed his battered thermos, and headed out into the gray dawn. I'd watch from the window as his pickup truck pulled away, taillights fading into the rush hour snarl on Ashland. Then it was my turn. Purse over shoulder, down the creaky stairs, third step always groaned like it might give, and out to the 80 Irving Park bus stop. Ride was the usual blur, diesel fumes mixing with the steam from taquerias, firing up carnitas carts, past the corner bodega, where Mrs. Lopez waved from behind the counter, slipping me an extra plantain in my grocery bag sometimes, and the guy who played saxophone for quarters every morning, notes mournful against the traffic hum. Work waited at Keller Insurance, front desk under fluorescent lights that buzzed like a swarm of tired bees. Claims department, Dan speaking. I'd say 100 times a day, shuffling papers that smelled of stale printer ink and lemon pledge from the night cleaning lady. Lunch was turkey on wheat at my desk, eaten while scrolling the Chase app balance, hovering at $8,300 after last month's root canal that hit $1,200 out of pocket. Insurance dragging their feet as usual. Afternoons crawled with cranky clients. Mrs. Hernandez on the line yelling about a denied fender bender claim. Mr. Keller hovering too close with his sour coffee breath, muttering, "Double-check these forms, Dan. We can't afford errors." Family kept me anchored through it all. My daughter Sarah, 30 now, lived an hour west in Oak Park with her husband Mike and their little spitfire of a girl, Lily. Sundays meant FaceTime, Lily waving crayons at the screen. Hi Gamma. Draw flowers. My sister Judy, out in the suburbs with her own empty nest, texted daily memes about hot flashes or recipes for cheap casseroles. Tom's brother Ray swung by once a month with a 6-pack of old style and stories from the shop, his laugh booming off the thin walls. No big fireworks, no drama, just the steady pull of people who knew your stories. Money, though, that was the quiet pressure, always simmering. I'd lie awake some nights with the calculator glowing blue on my lap, stretching the budget, Con Ed bill, $189. Car insurance, $142. Groceries, $210 a week if we skipped eating out. Wedding talk bubbled up gentle over those spaghetti dinners. Sauce bubbling on the stove with garlic heavy in the air. Maybe $15,000 total. Nothing extravagant. A simple ceremony at St. Rita's Catholic Church, 2 blocks over. Reception at the Polish Hall on the west side, where my parents had theirs back in '72. Save for a year, we figured. Tom squeezed my hand across the Formica table. We got time, Di. That's when I spotted Lisa's ad popping up in the Logan Square Moms Facebook group. Elegant events, stress-free weddings for busy couples like you. Her website gleamed with bride and groom testimonials. 5-star reviews on Yelp glowing about magic without the hassle. Her office was a quick bus ride away in Wicker Park. Glass front doors, white orchids nodding in vases. Lisa herself perched behind a sleek desk with an iPad, her sharp bob haircut framing a smile like warm honey. Mid-40s, confident voice smooth as she scrolled mock-ups. I'll handle every vendor, every payment, every timeline. You two just show up glowing, she promised. Manicured nails tapping the screen. Fee was $2,200 flat, reasonable for the relief. We signed her contract right there, a simple 2-pager spelling out she'd disperse all vendor payments promptly upon receipt from client. I handed over deposit checks that same night. Polsky Stall Caterers for $1,900. Groove Sounds DJ at $550. Pedal Path Florist $800. Back home, I scanned everything into my binder. A crisp white 3 ring from the Staples on Fullerton I'd picked up that afternoon. Tabs labeled neat in Sharpie. Contracts, payments, emails. Old habit from my ex-husband Rick, who'd forget utility bills during our divorce a decade back, claiming I never paid when the late notices came, left me scrambling to prove otherwise every time. Relax, baby. She's the pro, Tom said later, that night over canned green beans and meatloaf, his fork scraping the plate, calluses rough from the day's wrenches. I nodded, hole punching the first Venmo screenshot, $500 straight to her business account, and filed it away. Savings dipped to $7,800. Close margins, but dreams like this didn't come cheap. Next week's blurred into routine. Bus fumes sharp in my nose. Office copier jamming mid-claim. Evenings under the kitchen's flickering bulb updating the binder with Lisa's chipper, reply all emails. Judy visited that Saturday, hugging me tight over chamomile tea steaming on the table. You deserve something pretty after Rick, sis. Sarah texted dress pics from a thrift shop. Can't wait for the flowers, Mom. A small hint of strain flickered when the florist texted once for delivery confirmation. I forwarded it to Lisa. Got a quick on it. Reply with a thumbs up emoji. Bills piled as always. Phone $98. Gas for the Civic $67. But the excitement hummed quiet in my chest, picturing Tom's easy grin under St. Rita's stained glass lights. Our song playing slow, while 85 RSVPs clapped. For once, it felt like things might hold together just fine. Trouble didn't crash through the door like some movie. It leaked in slow. The way rain seeps under a bad window seal you keep meaning to fix. 4 months out from the wedding, an email from Polsky Stall popped into my inbox during a slow afternoon at the office. Printer ink sharp in the air as I clicked open. Deposit cleared, Mrs. Callahan, but no final menu confirmation from your planner. That didn't sit right. I'd Venmo'd Lisa the $1,900 balance 2 weeks earlier, right after Tom's overtime check cleared. Pulled up the Chase app on my phone under the desk, screenshot glowing. Timestamp 6:47 p.m. to Lisa P. at Elegant Events. Heart gave a little skip. Texted her quick. Cater needs menu sign off, saw your confirmation. Her reply came at 10:17 p.m., handling it with a thumbs up emoji. Let it slide. Busy lady, right? Filed the printout anyway. Hole punched into a new Chase log tab I'd added to the binder that night at home. It was the little things piling up after that. Subtle at first, but heavy like snow on branches. 3 months out, Petal Path florist called my cell during lunch. Turkey sandwich halfway to my mouth in the office break room. Vending machine humming. Deanne, deposit yes, but balance $800 overdue, delivery at risk without it. Lisa had sworn it was paid. Hung up, Venmo'd direct from the bathroom stall, door locked, hands shaky on the sink as the receipt pinged. Printed it double-sided, added to the binder. Bakery emailed next day. Cake design needs final approval from planner. Chased Lisa via Facebook Messenger. Read receipt showed. No reply. Paid the $700 myself Thursday after work. Bus lurching home with the receipt clutched in my purse. Savings balance blinked, $4,900 now on the app. Not sneaky, keeping all this, just scared. What if they buylaid and our guests walked into empty tables? Whispered it to Tom over Thursday meatloaf. His shop knuckles scabbed raw from wrestling a rusted bolt all afternoon. You're doing her job now, Di, he said, fork clinking his plate. Fire her. Contract says she handles payments. Can't risk losing the $2,200 non-refundable. I shot back, voice tight. Nights started stretching longer me at the kitchen table till 11, printer whirring soft, highlighting every discrepancy. Lisa's chipper, all good. Text stacked against vendor, nothing received emails. Sleepless under the thin sheets, L train whooshing past like a ghost, horns blaring from drunks at the bar downstairs. Judy called that Friday evening, her voice sharp over speakerphone as I stirred ramen for dinner. This stress, dump her already. But we were locked in. 2 months out, voicemail from the Polish hall manager buzzed my phone during Mr. Keller's morning meeting, his coffee breath hovering as I slipped out to the hall. Rentals not confirmed, Dan. Lisa unresponsive for weeks. Rush hour snarled the drive there after work, horns blaring. Paid the $1,400 balance in cash at their office, receipt stapled into the binder before the ink dried. Texted Lisa photos of it that night. Her reply pinged at midnight. Glitch in my system. Fixed now. Work frayed at the edges too, Mr. Keller snapped at a late report I'd been distracted reprinting statements for. Pup Deanne, or it's performance review time. Home, Tom pulled doubles at the shop. Dinners turned to ramen packets steaming over the stove, salt heavy on my tongue. Week 6 out, the photographer emailed mid-coffee break. Final $1,500 due. Lisa's been ghosting for weeks. Paid direct right there in the office bathroom. Water running to muffle the app beeps. Hands trembling as the balance dropped. String quartet called next afternoon. No payment trace. May have to cancel. Another $900 Venmo'd from the bus home. Binder swelling to 120 pages thick. Vendors started calling daily now, awkward voicemails piling up on my phone, transcribed neat into a notebook by the bed. 8:12, 2:14 p.m., florist voicemail. Lisa promised last month, still nothing. Lisa's texts dried to trickle. Busy week, trust the process. Panic gripped the nights proper then. Me pacing the cold linoleum in socks, whiskers weaving between my legs, purring confused, whispering budget calculations to the flickering bulb overhead. Spreadsheet on my laptop screamed the truth. $9, 400 sent to her business account over months. Half of it untraced per the vendor's emails I'd printed and stacked. Called her cell 10 times over 2 days. No answer. Straight to voicemail each one. Her chipper greeting mocking me. Drove to her Wicker Park office after shift one Tuesday rush hour gridlock. By appointment only sign flipped on the glass door, blinds drawn tight. Quick Google on my phone in the parking lot turned up 2 fresh Yelp bombs. Kept our deposits and vanished. Save every screenshot if you can. Heart sank like a stone. Week 3 out. The gut punch text from Lisa lit up my screen at 8:42 a.m. while I brewed Folgers. Scaling back client load due to health. Can't service your event anymore. Best wishes. Fury boiled slow and steady. But I kept calm, hired backup coordinator Maria that same day for a $900 rush fee. Paid direct with contract scanned into the binder before ink dried. Updated the breach evidence tab. Her original promises bolded in yellow. Disperse all payments promptly, stacked against my timestamped transfers and the vendor's pleas. Spreadsheet discrepancies glared. $9,400 in, maybe $4,500 out. Wedding eve arrived on frayed nerves. Vendors barely confirmed after my direct chases. Savings scraped to $1,200, blinking red on the app. Tom hugged me tight in bed that night, his calluses rough against my back. We're good anyway, die no matter what. Tears came quiet, soaking his shirt. Binder sat by the pillow like a faithful guard, pages whispering promises of proof if it all went south. The wedding day came off perfect, almost like the scramble never happened. A golden October sun slanting through St. Rita's stained glass windows, casting red and blue patterns on the pews as I walked down the aisle on Sarah's arm, her eyes shiny with tears. Tom stood waiting in his rented tux, handsome as the day we met, his grin crinkling the corners of his eyes. Vows were simple, voices steady. Through flat tires and late bills, I choose you. The Polish hall reception hummed after pierogies steaming on platters from Polski stall. The string quartet lilting through our song, petal path flowers spilling pink roses over every table, cake towering 4 tiers under paper lanterns. 85 guests danced, laughed, clinked glasses. No one saw the direct payments I'd begged for. The ramen dinners Tom and I scraped by on. The binder stuffed under our bed, holding the proof of it all. Savings gutted to $1,200 by the end. Honeymoon dreams swapped for a quiet night in, but we were married. That counted. Rage simmered under the joy, though quiet and persistent like a toothache. Week after the vows, I filed the small claims packet online from the kitchen table, fingers steady on the laptop keys. $14, 500 claimed. Lisa's $2,200 fee refunded. The $9,400 she'd forgotten to vendors. $900 rushed to Maria. $2,000 emotional distress max allowed. Evidence. At binder, now a beast at 180 pages, zip tight. Contracts proving we'd paid her to disperse. Bank screenshots of every Venmo to Lisa P. at Elegant Events. Vendor emails swearing she never forwarded a dime. Sheriff served her papers. She didn't show the first hearing default judgment in my favor. But she appealed quick, dragging us to full trial in DuPage County Small Claims Court. Court day smelled sharp of bleach and burnt coffee filters. Folding chairs scraping linoleum under harsh fluorescent buzz that made everyone's faces look tired. Judge Rivera, 60-ish Latina, with a neat gray bun, and wire-rimmed glasses perched low, called Callahan vs. Elegant Events, LLC, right at 9:15. Lisa sat 3 rows up, alone in an ill-fitting navy suit, blouse wrinkled like she'd slept in it, scrolling her phone with bitten nails. Me in my work slacks and ironed blouse from the agency, Tom beside me in his shop polo, my tote bag heavy with the binder on my lap. Hands went clammy first, palms slick against the vinyl cover, chest tightened like a vice around my ribs, breath shallow, mouth turned cotton dry, tongue sticking to the roof. Pulse hammered loud in my ears, drowning the murmurs from other cases. A landlord-tenant spat behind us, someone coughing wet. "Plaintiff, state your claim," Judge Rivera said, scanning the file folder with a pen poised, voice no nonsense but fair. I stood slow, legs heavy like after a double shift, tote slung over shoulder. Voice came out steady from years of calming irate clients on the phone, deep breath first. "Your Honor, Lisa from Elegant Events signed on for $2,200 to manage our wedding vendors, caterer, DJ, florist, rentals, all of it. We paid her $9,400 total through Venmo for those balances. She forgot half DJ bailaid first, then florist threatened no flowers, rentals almost no show, quartet nearly canceled. I chased and paid everyone direct myself to save the day, out $12,000 plus stress that had me up nights. Here's the proof." Unzipped the binder slow, pages rustling soft like dry leaves. The sound steadied me a touch. Passed thick copies across. First her contract, page 2 bolded in yellow highlighter. Client pays planner. Planner disperses to vendors promptly upon receipt. She bolted up halfway through, voice shrill. I forwarded everything. It was vendor errors, bad communication. They're the ones who dropped the ball. Judge held up a hand, even. "Ms. Parks, your evidence." Lisa fumbled her phone out, scrolled frantic to blurry screenshots, dates off by weeks. Vendor names half wrong, no bank stamps. Room went pin drop quiet, bystanders craning necks, her foot tapping manic under the table. I slid over next the 6 vendor affidavits, notarized fresh. Polsky stall. Received deposit only from bride. $0 from Elegant Events. Groove sounds. Lisa confirmed payment, verbally, never arrived. Judge Rivera flipped pages deliberate, glasses slipping lower, pen scratching notes in margins. My fingers trembled now, passing the bank app exports. 9 Venmos timestamped to her account. $1,900 Polsky stall, 5/12/25, 7:23 p.m. $550 DJ Groove 6/3/25, 4:51 p.m. Tracing every dollar she'd kept. Chest squeezed tighter, throat scratched raw like sandpaper, but words held. Her text chain says, "Funds dispersed 6/15 right here," printed. Bank proves she kept them. Photographer's invoice next. Deposit cleared to her. Balance her signature forged on a fake receipt. Judge murmured low, "Clear paper trail here," eyes narrowing on the discrepancies. String Quartet's email chain followed Lisa's silence after my forwards, their pleas to me direct. Lisa flushed deep red, stammering. "Clients overpay sometimes, complicate with changes." "No, ma'am," Judge Rivera cut flat, closing the stack with a soft thud. "This is breach of contract and conversion of funds, plain. Judgment for plaintiff. $14,500, full fees refunded, damages covered, court costs added. Ms. Parks, pay within 30 days or garnishment starts." Gavel cracked sharp against wood, echoing off cinderblock walls. Lisa glared daggers, heels clicking furious as she stormed the aisle, door banging behind. I exhaled shaky, knees turning soft like wet noodles, sinking back into the chair Tom's hand found mine under the table, warm squeeze grounding me. No cheers, no tears in front of strangers, just truth landing heavy as a dropped phone book, real and final. The check hit the mailbox 3 weeks later, crisp certified mail $14, $800 total, with the judge-mandated interest tacked on. Refunded Maria's rush fee first thing, then restocked the savings account to a steady $12,000, balance glowing healthier on the Chase app than it had in months. Wedding album arrived from the photographer a week after. Thick matte pages of us beaming under Polish hall string lights, pierogies steaming on platters, roses spilling from petal path vases, Tom twirling me slow to the quartet. No hint of the scramble, the direct Venmos from office bathrooms, the ramen nights we'd scraped through. Honeymoon turned into a quiet weekend at Indiana Dunes, sand gritty between toes, Lake Michigan waves lapping cold, Tom's arms solid around me as we walked the beach at dusk, gulls crying overhead. Worth every fight, he said, kissing my temple salt stiff. Lisa's business crumbled quiet after that no dramatic collapse, just the slow bleed. Her website went dark within days. Yelp page nuked with fresh 1 stars after I posted anonymized. Check every contract, save every screenshot. DuPage court docket public, judge ruled full for bride on breach. Links to the case file drew dozens more hits. Whispers rippled through Logan's Square Facebook groups. No apology email, no call, just silence. Her Wicker Park office sign gone when I drove by once on impulse. Work thawed gradual at the agency. Mr. Keller grunted. Solid reports this month, over his coffee one Monday. No more hovering. Sarah drove in that weekend with Lily, crayons flying across my living room floor. Mom fought the bad planner gamma strong. Hugs came tight, Lily's sticky fingers on my cheeks. Judy showed up Tuesday with a bottle of cheap wine, clinking glasses over tuna casserole. You're the binder queen now, sis, proud as hell. Boundaries shifted hard after, like locks clicking into place. I screenshot everything now, even Tom's shop receipts for tax time, forwarding client emails to my personal before filing claims. Rent jumped another $100 that month. We budgeted tighter. Eyes on cheaper Albany Park, walk-ups with fewer stairs for Tom's bad knee. Church small talk flowed easy with Father Mike after Mass. Gorgeous wedding. Dan saw the pics. Nights slipped back to routine. Dishes sudsing foamy in the sink. Hot water scalding my hands as TV murmured Jeopardy. From the living room, whiskers purring heavy on my lap while I balanced the checkbook under the kitchen bulb. Self-respect rooted deeper. No more second guessing my memory when Lisa's texts contradicted the facts. Ties stayed strained subtle. Lisa vanished complete. Trust with hired pros worn thinner than before. But family pulled closer. Clarity one sharper than any win. One dusk drive home from the Jewel Osco. Grocery bags rustling on the passenger seat milk. Eggs, ramen on sale. L train whooshed overhead, rattling the Civic's roof. Felt lighter somehow, shoulders looser. Bills loomed same as ever. Savings not bursting, but me. Steadier inside, like the binder had rebuilt something concrete. That binder gathers a fine layer of dust on the closet shelf now, right beside Tom's worn tool belt from the shop, and a plastic bin of Lily's scattered crayons. I keep meaning to archive it proper or recycle the extras, but my hand always pulls back. It's the second foundation propping up our walk-up life, paper beams sturdy and unyielding, when hired promises crack and crumble under weight. Planners, family, bosses, they'll forget your dollars and your steady chases, rewriting the budget of your effort to dodge their own blame. I learned boundaries aren't rude walls, they're receipts stacked high, when keeping peace starts emptying your account and your faith. Being the woman who shows up quiet month after Venmo, call after ignored call means carrying proof packed tight. The contracts of your care, the timestamps of your trust. No fairy tale fixes here. Rent climbs steady. Trust carries scars that ache on rainy days. Wedding joy bittersweet with the what ifs. But you learn to document the real when others shift stories to suit. Honey, when they claim you never paid up front, let the binder drop open on the table. Truth don't need volume or vengeance. It just stands there, solid as concrete.